Let's start with David Dahl. Outfielder 22, according to NFBC ADP data. That's good for 93rd player overall towards the end of the 7th round in redraft leagues. Now, I've always loved David Dahl. He was considered the consolation prize of the 2012 MLB draft. Just to reiterate, that 2012 draft featured Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Lucas Giolito, Marcus Stroman, Corey Seager, Michael Walker, Jose Barrios, Lewis Brinson, and more. Geez, what a class. How could you not fall in love with guys from that class? And Dahl was, like I said, the consolation prize to his counterpart, Byron Buxton, who we'll talk about in a moment. People immediately began dreaming on the 5-category potential that would only be boosted by calling Coors Field home. Well, 2016 saw him finally arrive in Colorado, but was he what everyone was hoping for? The start he's gotten off to will have you think that, and now his price has kind of skyrocketed as a result. There are some people on the fence about him. Is he really this good? Well, yes, he is. Is he great? He could be, but he's not there yet, and I don't know that 22 is well, I'll get into that in a moment. He is a true 20-20 player, 20 home run, 20 stolen bases. But the average that he's exhibited to this point, he's not a 300 hitter. Maybe in cores it can get him there, but his road splits will, take a hit in that department. He could be more of a 280, 290 guy, but outside of cores, I don't see him as a 300 hitter. And is he even really a 20-20 guy yet? I personally do think he struggles in his sophomore campaign in his full, what should be his full season, first full season as a pro. I think he's going to be more like a 15-15 guy, which I would bank on. But I don't know about 2020, at least for this year coming up. It makes his ADP extremely interesting because I really don't think it's bad at all. For what I think his ceiling is in basically his rookie year, is nice. And there is still tremendous upside, plus he gets to call Coors home. So, Ralph, is David Dahl, outfielder 22, a player you're buying at the end of the 7th round?
Yeah, and it comes with inherent risks. Obviously, as young as he is and as stellar as he was, in his, 2 months plus in Colorado last year, there were some questions. I mean, the BABIP was a touch high at 404, only a touch. So it was extremely high. Granted, he hit, half his time in Colorado, which is obviously going to boost your batting average on balls in play. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Is he a 315 hitter? No, I don't think that he is. I think he's more like a 280, 290 guy, but there is significant power, speed upside there. He's going to be in Colorado in a good lineup probably for years to come. They have a good lineup now. They have even more talented young players coming up, as we've talked about a few times in the show already. The question to me is Dahl's playing time. They spent a decent amount of money on Gerardo Parra. I have no idea how frequently Parra is going to play. I'm hoping that he's a fourth outfielder, spells guys here and there, maybe gets in the mix when they're in AL ballparks. But my hope is that Dahl will be the starting left fielder, 75% of the time, which is probably what you're hoping for. So there are some playing time questions there. The fact that Ian Desmond was brought in, I don't think is a problem. Desmond's going to play first base. He's not going to slot into the outfield. I don't think, there's nobody else coming up in terms of, first base prospects there, unless Ryan McMahon goes completely bananas or something this year in Hartford and Albuquerque, which I also don't see happening. So I like Dahl a lot. I think you hit the nail on the head with the power speed upside. Do I think he's a 300 hitter? No. Do I wish he walked a little bit more? Sure. But all in all, he's a player that I'm buying into. I love Coors hitters.
Yeah, and that's why I said the draft position. If it was slightly higher, I would say somebody I'm kind of avoiding. If it was slightly lower, I would say he's somebody I'm all in on and I'm trying to get everywhere. Where he is at 22, I think it's pretty accurate. I don't think there's any great value there, and I don't think there's too much risk. You mentioned the guys he's competing with. He's also got Raimel Tapia, who's going to be pushing. We both kind of think that, Cargo is going to be on his way out, which would just open more at-bats for both of those guys to play at the same time. I think Dahl is certainly ahead of Tapia on the depth chart at this point. So, I do think he breaks camp as the everyday guy. And with 15-15 floor, with potential for more in cores, it's hard not to like that. So maybe there is slight value for his draft position. But I mentioned, go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to mention too, he seems like the perfect kind of guy that people will really struggle to keep on their teams, maybe through April and May if there are some platoon issues there. But once the second half hits, this could be a guy that takes off. Once some of the playing time questions become a little less murky, if Colorado ends up moving a player for a pitcher, etc. So I think he's a guy that if he struggles in April, my word of advice is please hold on to him, because I think it's going to pay dividends in August and September when you're competing.